Hey everybody, Invisiblekatana here, doing my impressions for the Ubisoft press conference from E3 2018. Just got done watching it probably like 15-20 minutes ago. I just did my impressions for the Bethesda thing, so you guys can check that out if you're interested. But I think Ubisoft did a pretty good job this year. I feel like so far, outside of EA, everything I've seen has been pretty good. I haven't watched I think it was Devolver Digital did one on Sunday, and they're smaller, so weren't really covered. So I have to check them out. But so far, I feel like all the conferences have been good. It's 9 o'clock, like right now. It's 9:10, so I have to like shoot through all the other coverage that I've missed today, and then I'm like Sony, because that's like my favorite. They always have something that I want, so I'm like, I want to see Resident Evil there. I know they're doing like their four things. Anyway, and I got to talk about Ubisoft. I'm just excited for Sony. I think they did a good job. They kicked things off, of course, with Just Dance, which I heard. I don't know if that was a joke, but I think it was real. Apparently, it's actually coming to the Wii. That's insane. That's freaking ridiculous. But Just Dance, they did another one. I like this one more than their other things. But I was curious. I was like, are they gonna do the big dance number and all that? Because they do it every year, and it's like, honestly, I mean, it sells so much for them. I guess that's why they bothered to make the big dance number. But at E3, I always think nobody really cares that much about Just Dance. But did a cool, decent dance number. I actually liked it with it being like the instrumental versions. Maybe that's why I liked it so much. I was like, I like these instrumental versions with the band music. It actually sounded cooler to me compared to them just playing the songs. Although two of the songs I actually did like. But I thought that was cool. You can't hate like a dancing bear marching leader, so that was cool. But I was like, all right, everybody's in crazy costumes. The one woman who was in the pink made me think of like a Twi'lek or Twilight. I can't pronounce it right, but the things from Star Wars, Ahsoka Tano. So I was like, okay, that's cool. And they did it at the front. They didn't have anybody come out because I was like, I hope they don't have them come out and talk about the new features of Just Dance because I don't care. Fortunately, they didn't. They were like, let's just do this dance number that no one cares about. Decent music, decent dancing. Then they left, and then all the cool stuff, like the actually really cool stuff, came in. But I definitely enjoyed it. Right after that, they did Beyond Good and Evil 2. I don't know what they're doing with this because they said it was still a prequel. And I thought the reveal, like when it's like they say Jade, I was like, oh, so they were kind of tricking us saying it was a prequel, and then they're like, okay, that's Jade, like a young version of Jade in our prequel game. And I was like, I'm super confused. Like, I don't. Is it not a prequel? Is it a prequel? I feel like I'm getting some Mirror's Edge stuff where they're like, it's kind of a prequel, but it's kind of a reboot. It's like, it was just a reboot. That's all that was. So I think that's where we're headed. It's just a reboot, which personally I'm fine with. But I know if I had played through the first one, which is why I never did because it didn't get a sequel, I'd be kind of upset if it was going to be a prequel or this weird reboot. I would prefer just a continuation because I just, if you like that story so much, I would love to just see that continuation go on. But I still like what I saw. It looked really cool just from the trailer. And there's been some extra gameplay that, of course, you guys can find. But seems interesting. And I'm very curious what they're going to do with this open world stuff. They have like a whole solar system deal where it's like, it's not just day-night cycles. It's like the planets have cycles based on the solar system because that's how the universe works. So I'm excited to see where they go with it. More of the story, an official decision or just official news, like is it a prequel or is it just a flat out reboot, because even people that knew the game based off of what I've been hearing are confused how it could possibly be a prequel based on what they know. So I don't know the full story of the game. It could just be like some extra stuff that was never revealed about Jade as a character, but curious where it's headed. So I definitely thought that looked pretty cool. Trials Rising is just Trials, so it was cool. Division 2, I mentioned this before. I'm just cautious about what they're going to do in Division because the first one didn't pan out to be as epic as it was supposed to be, much like the first Watch Dogs games. But Watch Dogs 2 did do fairly well. Maybe Division 2 will be just the same and it'll be much better. So should be interesting. They did the raids with the 8-player co-op, the 3 free DLC episodes. That's just always nice. That not everyone needs microtransactions or extra transactions and season passes and stuff, so that was cool. Mario Rabbids Donkey Kong DLC definitely looked cool. Loved the little performance they did there with the music and stuff like that. The one woman who was on the guitar had me cracking up because she was in like just full rock mode the whole time. She was in like the power stance. She was like one little strum and she would just like, it was just funny to me. She was like in full rock mode, so I like that. Should be cool. Played a little bit of Mario Rabbids because I don't have a Switch. I don't have like any of the stuff I really want. But yeah, that seemed cool. Skull and Bones seemed very interesting. I'm curious how that's going to play out too, because they kind of made it seem like it was going to be like a story, but I'm like, I feel like that's just what they got. But they did have a main character. They had like 3 or 4 main characters based on that trailer, So I am curious if there's an official story mode, if there's like, some new crazy pirates are coming in or whatever. But seemed cool. Seemed very simple though. I never plan on picking up the game because it's legitimately like what everybody liked from Assassin's Creed 4. They just made that the whole game. It's like they even have the same symbols. Like boarding the ship is literally the exact same symbol that they had back when it was Assassin's Creed 4. So I was like, they're just keeping that. They're keeping the sea shanties, upgrading your ship and stuff like that. So we'll see how it plays out. I'm sure with it being Ubisoft and them obviously taking this from Assassin's Creed 4, there'll be like a plethora of Assassin's Creed references. It might even be within the actual time of Assassin's Creed 4. They might just say like it's, they might just pull those references in. But it seemed cool from what we got to see. After that was Transference. I thought that looked cool. I love horror, and then horror VR is just cooler, so it seems interesting. StarLink, I forgot that this was the game that had the toys in it, because when I was watching, I was like, that seems really cool. This seems like it's going to be an actually good version of No Man's Sky, and it has a story mode where they're trying to rally, allies throughout the entire, or, sector, I was going to say universe, but their, whatever Atlas is, that quadrant of space. I was like, that's really cool. And then the ships are coming in, and then they showed the hand. I was like, oh, it's that game. I forgot. I assume, of course, that that's not like you have to have that to get the extra stuff, but I was like, don't care about the toys, but I'm interested. I like the story element of gathering allies throughout the universe. It's kind of a Mass Effect thing, but it seems like it's, probably a bit calmer, not as dramatic. But it seemed like it would be fun. Of course, I have to assume it's an online co-op game based on how it looks, but it seemed pretty cool. Then, of course, they threw in the Star Fox stuff, which was really awesome. So I was like, well, that's pretty sweet. But all in all, that actually seems like a fun game. So I'm looking forward to getting a lot more info on that before deciding whether or not I'm actually going to pick it up. For Honor is for free until I think June 18th or something. So I'm definitely downloading that because I never ended up getting the game. They're bringing in Chinese warriors, so it's the Marching Fire stuff. So that looked really cool. And then, of course, they ended it out with, naturally, Assassin's Creed. It was leaked all over the place, Assassin's Creed Odyssey, but I didn't look into it because I wanted to at least somewhat be surprised. So I knew it was Greece because people were talking about it because it was so many leaks this year with that Walmart thing. But it was great. It looked so freaking cool. You get to choose between a character, whoever the guy was, and then Cassandra. I'm going to pick her, obviously. But you get, like, one of the precursor items is going to be your weapon. It's the Spear Leonidas. So I thought that was a cool idea where you actually utilize, like, a weaker piece of Eden item throughout the game. I was like, that's a really cool idea. It gives you, like, extra powers that make sense within the universe, even though you're technically a normal character. So I thought that was really sweet. Of course, they put in the Spartan kick, so that's going to be all over the internet when that comes out. But it looked cool. Visually, the game looked great. You can make different options. They have romance options because they had that in there with the one woman who was like, oh, I sent that note. And they made her super attractive. Like, it was clear. I was like, I mean, still, even though a video game character, they clearly made her attractive for a reason. And then it was just like that little heart there. And it was like, so are you two, like, together? I was like, oh, that's interesting. So there's romance options within the game. I would assume there are going to be more than just that one woman. So curious how that's going to play out. Socrates is in it, some famous person from way back when. So I'm excited to see what they do with that. They seem to tease like a Minotaur, I think it was, at the end of the trailer. But I'm definitely looking forward to it. I still have to get Assassin's Creed Origins, which is hilarious because it was Origins and now it was like Odyssey's even further back. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I thought it looked really cool. Naturally, it comes out this year. But it seems like they did a fairly good job after, that break that they took going into Origins. It seems like that's still carried over and they're doing a fairly decent job. So I'm still a full game behind, which I have been, like, forever. I've been, like, just games and games behind, especially when it went to PS4 and I didn't have one. So I was like, I got to shoot through, like, 3 games at once. But got to get Origins to kind of pick up and, catch up on where the story's at. But looks pretty fun. I'm definitely looking forward to a new Assassin's Creed game. I'll see ultimately how it plays out once it comes out and other people review it, but from what I saw, it's pretty cool. I like the idea of the powers. I like the idea of choosing the 2 different characters and you stay with them throughout the game, because it's kind of like what they had with Syndicate, where it's like you could choose Jacob or Evie, but you could switch it pretty much any time after you do a mission. You could just switch back and forth, and so of course you'd get different dialogue, different interactions with the characters, and it's like, okay, well, I'd love to see how that plays out when you go through with Cassandra and then the other dude. But I'm like, all right, I like that idea, and you just choose them from the very beginning, and so you'll have different options there. But looking forward to it. Like I said, I think Ubisoft did a fairly good job. Of course, I'm looking forward to Sony. I don't know what Nintendo's going to do, but Sony is basically pulling up the 4 games that I want. I hope they throw in some Devil May Cry. I hope we get some I need Resident Evil to, like, Capcom's got to do something. Excuse me, but yeah, I thought Ubisoft did a good job. Looking forward to what extra information we're gonna get from the games that were shown off. Definitely need more on Division 2 before I ever make a decision on that game, because I avoided the first one because of how it didn't do so well. So I'm curious how it'll play out, and we'll just have to see what happens. It seems like the story is going to be a bit more focused because it's going towards the capital, is like this really dangerous spot. So I'm kind of curious how that's going to play out story wise as well. But definitely want to know what you guys thought about the Ubisoft press conference for this year. So please put your comments down in the comment section below. Favorite announcements, least favorite announcements, what you wish was announced, if there was anything you felt like was missing. I know a lot of people wanted Splinter Cell for quite some time, and they thought this might actually be it because the DLC for Ghost Recon Wildlands, they had Sam Fisher come back and they got the original voice actor to do it. And it was like, oh, well, there's probably going to be some Splinter Cell stuff, and that never came up. So even when people mentioned that, I was actually surprised when it ended and there was no Splinter Cell. So I was admittedly surprised by that. I'm sure people who are actually huge fans of said franchise probably a bit disappointed by that too, especially knowing the Ghost Recon Wildlands stuff happened and they got the voice actor and everything. So that I would probably say is the biggest disappointment, that it wasn't there. But for me, I'm not super attached to the franchise, so it was like no big deal. But I am surprised it didn't happen. But like I said, want to know what you guys thought about it overall, so please put your comments down in the comment section below. And of course, thanks for watching.